Hello and welcome to another Kangaroo English Daily Digest. My name is Christian and today is Monday, best day of the week. I have a lot I want to talk about today, but basically I'm going to talk about your brain and all of the things that are wrong with it and what that tells us about learning a second language. And I'm going to try and tell a kind of story here. Okay, so I need to start with today's word of the day, which is literal. And literal means to the letter, exact, precise, true. But you'll find a lot of people today using this word to mean the opposite. To mean something figurative, not something literal. Like, for example, people will say, my head literally exploded with the information. Or, it was so cold, we were literally freezing last night. And obviously, no, you were not literally freezing. Your head was not literally exploding. We have changed the way that we use this word. Instead of using it to mean literal, it's being used for emphasis. Language change. And this is not a new change. We've been doing this for at least 300 years. But people don't like change. They're resistant to change. But what they don't realize is that change is everywhere. Change keeps language alive. And change is hidden. So for example, when we turn this word into an adverb, what do? We add ly, literally. Where did it come from? Well, in the past we used to say, I did it literal like. My head literal like exploded. And then eventually that like became shortened and contracted and became li. You can find exactly the same thing in Spanish. In Spanish, this word is literalmente. Mente means mind. In Spanish, they used to say, I did it with a literal mind. And then eventually that mente became a piece of grammar. This is a process called grammaticalization, where words become pieces of grammar. And it shows that things are hidden in language that we are not even aware of. And this brings me to this first piece of research, which is a new cold feature-based handwriting analysis for ethnicity and nationality identification. And these very clever people, they have developed a formula, an algorithm that allows them to detect the nationality or the ethnicity of the person by analyzing their handwriting. So they had people from Bangladesh, China, India, Malaysia, and Iran. They had them write sentences in English, and depending on the straightness of the lines, the curls, the angles, the spacing, depending on all of these factors, they can tell what your native language is, basically. And that tells us something really important. It tells us that traces, little pieces of your native language appear in your second and your third and your fourth languages. And we're not even aware of them. And that's what I want to talk about. So there are three really interesting pieces of research that have one thing in common. They are all studies of bilingual people. Okay, so this one here is a study of bilingual children in Montreal who are English-French bilingual. This one here is a study of Catalan and Spanish bilinguals living in Barcelona. And this one here is about adopted children with a Chinese background who go to live in Sweden. And what do they all tell us? They all tell us that bilingualism is not what you think. So imagine you're a bilingual child. You grow up in Montreal. You're exposed to English and French. Maybe your dad speaks English and your mum speaks French. You go outside. Some shops are in English, some are in French. You go to school in English and French. English, French. You're bilingual from birth. But the truth is that you will always have one more dominant language. It's not 50-50, it's more dominant. So that's important. And the research proves that. The research proves that these bilingual children always have one language with better vocabulary, better pronunciation, better listening skills in one language than another, even though they are bilingual from birth. But what's really interesting is that they also tell us how this works and why this works. And it's called interference. So basically, we don't have this kind of equality in the brain where both languages exist perfectly in harmony. Actually, your other languages, your second and third and fourth languages, are built on your first language. It's like your first language provides the structure for all of the other languages you learn, and that can cause a lot of interference. I kind of talked about this before. So, if you want to learn this is a dog, by the way. If I have this idea of a dog in my mind, and I know the word dog in English, which is my native language, that relates directly to the symbol in my mind. And then when I learn the word dog, perro, in Spanish, what I want to connect the word directly to the symbol, but it doesn't work like that. I connect perro to dog, and then dog back to the symbol. So this, my first language, interferes with my second, third, fourth languages. And why is this important? It's important because part of being successful at learning a second language is understanding these limitations. Now, I get accused by other teachers and other students of basically promoting laziness. So, for example, from their point of view, if I say, right, you're not going to have a native accent, so don't waste your time trying. What they think I'm saying is, you shouldn't try at all to improve your pronunciation. You shouldn't try at all, because you'll never have a native accent. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to have realistic and achievable goals. For example, I am 40 years old. I am not a very fit person. For me to have the objective of being Usain Bolt is just ludicrous. It's a waste of time because my biology prevents me from doing that. I'm too old, I'm too short, I don't have enough muscle, I'm never going to be Usain Bolt, right? And when teachers encourage students to become like a native with native pronunciation and native grammatical structures and native listening skills, it's an unrealistic, unachievable goal because of biological limitations. And so what it means is students fail. They give up because it's just never going to happen. It's impossible. So I'm all about realistic goals. And what I'm saying to you is, it's really hard to learn a language. Really, 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 really hard. You have to work super hard. But you don't want to be like a native. You just want to be an excellent user of English. I'll see you in class.